people, to a large extent, even those that have opened their mind to some of it, is still a game, it's still an add-on, it's still train spotting or plane spotting, it's still a hobby. But if they really knew the scale, the nature of the world that is designed to be introduced, then if their hair isn't curled, it would curl, and if it is curled, it would uncurl, because they'd go running home crying to their mum if they knew what was really planned. And this is why people like me and you and others have given our lives to try to alert people to, like I said earlier, if you think it's bad now, if you don't like what's happening now, well, strap in, mate, because multiply it by 1,000% and then multiply it some more by the time we get to 2030, 2050. People have no idea, and this is a big thing. One of the greatest ways that this cabal prosper and control is simply the sense of me, me, me. Does it affect me? What's in it for me? What are the consequences for me? Well, the consequences for me, if I go with it, is I'll be a big star and I make lots of money and people cheer me and I'll be great. And what's the consequences for me of challenging this stuff? Oh, well, it's not so good. It's not so good. So I'm not going to challenge it, because what's the best thing for me? Going with it. So we have these people in dark suits administering this thing. We have the bureaucrats, we have the people in uniform, we have all of these people. We have these, I tell you, Jack, we have these celebrities, some of which have actually contacted me, and I met one or two, and they've gone, oh, you're doing a great job, thank you very much. So now, what are you going to do with the massive platform, public platform that you have, to communicate this information and make a difference? Answer: silence.
Yeah, I know. I've had the same thing happen. Yeah.
He's in it for me. Oh, I'm glad you're doing it, Dave. I'm glad you're doing it, Jack. But me, if I did it, well, I'd lose this, I'd lose that, and I wouldn't get a big movie anymore. I'd lose me contract and all that stuff. All this business, it's me, 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 me. Well, that's fine. But one day, I say to these people, me, me, me is going to knock on your door. And you're going to realize that reality dawns. And you're going to realize the world that by your silence, when you had the opportunity, you have allowed to unfold for the later years of your life, and for most of the life of your kids and all the life of your grandkids.
David, look, I was fairly rich and famous. I was running big companies and making a lot of money and doing what I was supposed to do for the most part and playing my part, and it was very nice. I got a lot of perks, and this is what people say, well, Jack, you're just doing this to make money and to be famous. No, I actually already was. I actually gave that up to do this, and very similar with you, even on a higher level, head of the Green Party, BBC presenter, sports athlete, star in England, all of that. You could have kept going on your path. You'd be living in a giant mansion on the hill right now, reading and repeating the news for people, but instead you did this.
I wouldn't, Jack. I'd have taken the pill by now if that had been my life. I'd have taken the pill and left this reality, I tell you. The thought of continuing in that life, in that world, oh my goodness me, I just shudder. But, I have no problem with people, pursuing their career. I have no problem with people making money and all that, as long as it's legitimate and not screwing people. The problem I have is people who have a platform to make a difference, who say they understand what's going on and they're so glad you're doing what you're doing, who then do nothing to use that platform because they fear the consequences for them. It's all about me, me, me. And, that me, me, me is one of the... It's often lost, when people list divide and rule structures and techniques. They say religion, they say race, they say income bracket and all that stuff, and what have you. You very rarely hear on the list me, me, me. that is the greatest divide and ruler of all in so many ways, because I'm going to make my decisions not on what is right, not on what is just, not on what needs to be done to turn this world around. I'm going to make my decisions on what's right for me, what benefits me, what makes good consequences for me. And if we go on doing that for much longer, we will me as into them, because we will give the very divide and rule necessary. It's like that great line by the pastor in Nazi Germany. First they came for the Jews, I was not a Jew, so I did nothing. Then they came for the communists, I was not a communist, so I did nothing. Then they came for the trade unionists, I was not a trade unionist, so I did nothing. Then they came for me, and there was no one else left to speak out for me. And this is what's happening. And if we keep looking the other way, then eventually, like I say, me knocks on our door and asks for our papers. And by then, all the other people who together could have changed it, they're all no longer here. And this is why we cannot go on the way we are. Because I think it was Einstein who said, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, is the ultimate confirmation of insanity. So therefore we have to do something differently if we're going to change what we're constantly repeating. And to do that, we need to look in the mirror and say, what do I have to change about me? And the big thing we all have to do is say, what do we have to do to contribute or to stop underpinning this system of human control that's getting more incessant and more extreme by the day? That's the first thing. There's nothing more important in anyone's life than that. Oh, my kids are more important. Okay, so what kind of world are your kids going to live in if you don't make a contribution to this, if you don't stop underpinning it? Everything comes from this. Oh no, my health's more important. They want to destroy your health, and you've seen nothing yet if nothing's done. Oh, my bank account's more important. Oh, really? Well, what about when they crash the banking system and whatever you've got in the bank is worthless? Which it is now, except we take it seriously. Everything, people, comes down to sorting this out. It is the #1 priority on planet Earth.
Just a kid, remember robbing liquor stores just to get a kick again. Oh, how the memories come again, but they float away just like passing days. And I'm always trying to do it on my own, but sticks and stones eventually break a bone. I watched the light of your God and saw through it. I looked at the world today and then I knew it. And time is an illusion, it keeps our lives spent up constantly in delusion. And every day as the sun goes round, slowly we fertilize the ground. Religions are going fanatic, it's accept this or turn into an addict. A world on the verge of collapse, I wish you could just take all this shit back. What do we do? What do we say? You know truth, it don't go away. Everything's fucked up again. Looking at my life in the mirror, trying to look away again. Yeah, it seems my only friend is knowing deception and being able to see through it, friend. Knowledgeable by past abuse, knowing what it feels to love and knowing what it feels to lose. Some think I'm empty and hollow. All I got to say to you is glad you didn't follow. For those still trapped in the left side of our brains, eventually you'll be standing there wide awake. Cause the moon's gonna disappear again, and we're gonna flood again by distant relatives. And I hate to be the bearer of truth, but the world is hypnotized right down to the youth.